So, this is, as you can tell, another Randy Cunningham ninth grade ninja Ladybug story. And if you've been on this channel, if most of you who have been on this channel long enough probably know where this is going, you guys probably know what the focus of these types of stories are whenever I feature the two. And yeah, this is going to be a crossover pairing story of Randy with Alya. So it's going to be more of a romantic comedy kind of story. There is going to be some action, I swear, but hey, and you're probably thinking, romantic comedy? Hell happened to you? And to which I say, hey, it never hurts to kind of break the mold sometimes. Only shooting stars break the mold. And goddammit, I'm a shooting star. At least that's what I tell myself whenever I fucking listen to Smash Mouth. You ever think that I've lost my mind? Has that occurred to anyone, like, including myself, that I've maybe lost, like, my sanity over the times I've been here? I sometimes think that, and a part of me is like almost at peace with it, you know. Anyway, so this story basically is that what has happened is that we start this story on a bad note because Randy has just got the shit kicked out of him after beating a bunch of robots that were sent by McFist. But that's not really what's driving him, because there's more or less like a news crew watching Randy, and they're watching like, ooh, the ninja's really like taking his anger out on these robots. Like, I'd hate to be these robots. Turns out, Teresa has dumped Randy. She's dumped him. Why? Because he's a superhero and hasn't told her. Like, she basically tells him, you run away most of the time. You don't tell me where you go, and half the time when you come back, whenever, you've canceled dates last minute, you've run out on me on dates, and there are times where I just find you, like, with all these injuries and bruises. I don't know if you're, like, part of some secret fight club or something, but no, I'm done. So, Randy's kind of taking his anger out on these robots, and when he comes back to school, Howard's kind of noting that, hey, I know you and Teresa kind of split, but, I'm here for you, man, and he's like, yeah, thanks, man. I'm just tired. Like, I'm so mad because he generally cared about Teresa, and shit just went sideways fast. And while this is going on, he doesn't bother hearing, because Principal Slimovitz basically says, today class, we're going to have a student exchange between French students from Francois DuPont coming over to Norrisville, and Randy and Howard think this is the funniest shit ever, because they're like, oh, French students coming to Norrisville. Like, that's so cliche and fanfiction-y. And also, like, what are they gonna fucking do here? Like, what are they gonna, like, also, French people? I mean, we do know, the one guy. So what? They just thought we're just gonna dump more over? Like, they're just kind of being assholes about it, and Randy kind of needs the laugh. But then, meanwhile, the flight over here, shit is not going well for the characters of Ladybug either, because, like, Marinette basically has this moment of, oh god, I have left Paris alone again. This is the New York shit all over again. And, like, Tiki points out, hey, didn't you also ditch Paris for China just so you could try to, knock boots with Adrian in Shanghai? And he's like, that's not the point, Tiki! This is different! It's like, it's not really. So yeah, there is that. And also, Marinette's trying to be a very supportive friend, because Alya has suffered a breakup as well with Nino. Essentially, Alya and Nino broke up because the superhero life and trying to keep the relationship kind of fell apart. So Alya's kind of keeping her walls up right now, and it's not really a good time. And only Marinette's trying to be supportive. So, and, you know, Marinette makes the joke of, hey, maybe you'll find someone in America. And Marinette, and Alya immediately goes, shut up. So, they land, they go to Norrisville, and Alya's like, what the fuck is wrong with this city? Like, there's literally a giant, you know, there's a giant fucking pyramid building, this town is full of robots, and, like, everyone hero worships this 900-year-old ninja guy. What is up with this? And Marinette goes, well, don't we inherit powers from, you know, age-old, you know, relics throughout the generations? And to which Alya goes, whatever. So by this point, the students from the class arrive at Norrisville, and Slimovitz, in his infinite wisdom, decides, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we had like a class social, like a meeting of the minds, instead of like them introducing class, like let's have a little party to welcome our international neighbors. So that's what he does, is put together this meeting in the gym, and the two groups kind of like mix and mingle. Like, you have Julika hang out with Julian, who in this story would be like, I like the idea of Rachel, the really cute girl dating from Randy Cunningham, and being in a ship with Julian, because I just like that combination of cute and creepy, and also it plays off of like Julika and Rose. So having those two mix and mingle, you have who else? What did I want to have? Like, Heidi hangs out with Alex. There's also like some other characters that kind of intermingle, and Nino and Adrian also hang out with Adrian thinks like Randy and Howard are really cool. Like, she thinks they're really cool. But here's the thing: is that Randy notices Alya across the room, and he's like, "Wow." And Howard goes, dude, are you on the rebound right now? He's like, I'm not on the rebound. Like, dude, you just broke up with Teresa. This is rebound stuff. And I'm like, and Randy's like, you're right. I shouldn't do this. I just want to go talk to her. I'm just going to go talk to her. Nothing romantic. Let's see what happens. So they mingle. Like, they just, like, Randy and Howard, you know, approach. And Nino's already like, what the fuck? What's he doing? Because Nino instantly clicks, like he thinks, oh, I know what he's doing with my ex. That motherfucker. So Adrian has to like stop Nino for a second. It's like, they're just talking, man. Like, just let go. You guys, I don't know the full story, but you guys burned the bridge. So I know you still want to be friends, but like if you get in the middle of this is gonna get nasty. It's gonna get nasty. Not here. We just got here. Just let them talk. Like, maybe Randy's not even interested in that. And Randy, admittedly, for the most part, is not like trying to like flirt with her. He's just like, he noticed her. Like, he noticed she was sad, and even he goes, I am not going to try whatever it is. I am not going to try to date this girl because I just broke up with my girlfriend. So I'm not going to try anything, because the last thing I need is to be like that like a fucking scumbag who just rebounds instantly. But he does kind of have that sense of, she looks sad. Let's just go over there, say hi, see what the problem is. Yeah. So Howard go over there and you know, they introduce themselves to Alya and Marinette. They pretty much talk, and that's it. Like, they just talk. But before they leave, before they all go to classes, because they all have different classes for the first day, Alya's like, hey, I know this sounds crazy, but here, let me give you my number. And she gives it to him, and immediately Randy goes, oh dear. Because he's now like, the moment she gave him his phone number, he's like, oh great, now I'm attracted to her. Because that's the moment he realized, like, after talking to her, he's like, oh, this is really nice, she's really sweet, and you know, we get along, and she's got some humor to her. Like, I think she's pretty funny. And then, like, after, like, the moment they trade phone numbers, he's like, oh dear. So after school, they're like texting one another, and if you're wondering, like, what's the housing situation for the Ladybug characters, basically they are set up at different houses. And funny enough, Alya and Marinette are now staying with the Wienermans. So they're actually chilling with Heidi. Like, they all are sharing a room with like a guest room in the Wienerman house. And Howard is like, dude, that girl you talked to, she's living in my house. I'm scared. I'm completely outgunned. There's 3 women. Heidi now has 3 extra women to beat the shit out of me if need be. You gotta come over. And he's like, wait, are you... And Randy's like, wait, let me get this straight. Alya is staying at your house. And he's like, yeah, dude. Oh, you want to come over to see her, right? And he's like, shut up, man. So, if you're wondering where Hawkmoth, if Hawkmoth is going to show up at any point, don't worry, we're going to get to him. Because Hawkmoth is kind of like, well, Ladybug and Cat Noir have vanished, and there's no one to really akumatize. Like, literally, I sense no strong emotions at any point, probably because Chloe fucked off to America. So, sorry, I love Chloe, but that was just a fun joke to throw in there. So, more or less what he does is that he basically, like, is just kind of, like, wondering what to do, because, yeah, he hasn't really had, like, a villain to come to show up with, and he doesn't really have anything, like, but he needs the miraculous. So, he just kind of is like, I'm just going to bide my time, see if they'll show up, and then, you know, strike. So, what happens is that one night when, you know, they're just, you know, Randy and Alya are kind of texting back and forth, Marinette's like, oh, you're texting that American, right? And she's like, his name's Randy. He's like, oh, his name's Randy. You get his, you know, he's like, how long until you change your name to Cunningham? And she says, fuck you, Marinette. So they're texting, and by this point, you probably know what's going to happen next, because what happens is that McFist has sent another monster out, another giant robot out at Viceroy's request, and Randy's like, fuck me, in the middle of the night, oh, god damn it. So he ninjas out and fights it. But what happens is that it gets on the, like, a late news, because, you know, teenagers don't sleep, so they get a breaking news bulletin and see that the ninja is battling a robot, and she's like, hey, we should join in. He's like, and Marinette's like, I don't know, Alya, we should not intervene. Like, this is the ninja just does this. Like, no, he looks like he's getting his ass beat right now. We should go help him. And she's like, oh, okay, fine. So they become Reina Rouge and Ladybug and Reina Rouge. They go help, and Randy, who doesn't realize it's Alya, is like, wow, she's hot. He's like, oh boy, I didn't realize that Reina Rouge was this hot. Listen, you're really cute. I didn't say that out loud. You're really attractive. I mean, really sweet. But I had it under control. And they're like, yeah, sure you did. So by this point, news breaks out that Ladybug is in Norrisville, and because even Randy's like, "Hey, why are you guys in Norrisville?" And she's like, we were helping heroes like that. We totally us heroes got to stick together. Totally save that. Yep, totally save that." So of course, Hawkmoth is like, "Score! They're finally out there, and they're in Norrisville. I know what to do." So he just takes off the Darkwings, goes as Gabriel Agrest, and is like, hey, so McFist, you know, us rich people know each other because you've bought clothing lines from me. Listen, I got a situation involving Ladybug, and I know you have a situation with the ninja. How about we help each other out here? So, he's saying he's Hawkmoth without saying, without saying he's Hawkmoth, or Shadow Moth, or whatever the fuck you want to call him. So the two, basically, pool their resources, more or less that, Gabriel says, oh, I know Hawkmoth, he's a ally, I do some work for him. And Viceroy's like, he's totally Hawkmoth, sir. And they're like, yeah, I thought that too, until he said he worked for him. You gotta listen for these things, Viceroy. So, they basically create a robot that's so sentient, kind of like the Scorpion robot, where Randy lost his memory, and they akumatize that robot and give it soup it up. Meanwhile, while this machinations are going on, Randy and Alya are kind of like getting closer and closer, and in fact, Randy is like sneaking over to Howard's house, not to hang out with him, but he's like going over to sneak into help sneak Alya out of the house so they can go on like midnight dates and whatnot. And Howard's kind of getting annoyed, like, dude, what about me? What about me, man? He's like, dude, her, hot, wanna be with her. Sorry, you gotta take one for the team. So, it's actually literally like I wanted to have a scene where like Randy is getting help from Howard to like move a ladder over to the room, and like Randy like scurries up there right as Marinette is like trying to change. He's like, "Oh God, sorry," and she immediately like just punches him in the face. He falls off the ladder, and Alya's like, "What happened?" He's like, "Your fucking boyfriend just tried to fucking peep on me." He's like, "I was trying to see her, not you." Yeah. So, eventually and also, like, Randy's also kind of flirting with Reina Rouge, even though he kind of feels bad about it. But then, like, he starts to, like, put two and two together because he's like, okay, so Ladybug and all of them show up right at the same time as the French students. They show up and they disappear. Son of a bitch. So he kind of sneakily says, like, hey, what's good, Alya? And she goes, how did you know? He's like, boo. He, like, takes the mask off. Boo. So they're like, holy shit, and he, like, explains the whole thing of the ninja. She explains the whole thing about the miraculous. And then she also mentions, look, this is why I don't know if we should continue this, because, like, this was the same reason I left my last boyfriend. And he goes, yeah, we have our own troubles, but, like, maybe we can, like, navigate it, because, like, I didn't want to fix my, like, I was so obsessed with being the ninja, I never thought about fixing my relationship, but I never... Maybe we can kind of turn that tide. So while they're talking, that's when the Akuma bot shows up. All the Miraculous are now, like, teaming up with the ninja. Eventually, they do take it down, and they point out, like, hey, why hasn't anyone brought up that robots are coming from McFist? And he's like, you cannot believe the stupidity of this town, really. So, by the end of it, the student, like, it becomes, like, clear that Norrisville's too dangerous for the students, so they're sent back to France, because that's totally safer. And by the end of it, Alya's like, we can probably make a long-distance relationship. And Randy's like, right. Or I can sign up for the, American exchange and go to Paris. I heard Francois Dupont's got a really nice class. She's like, yeah, where are you going to stay? Where are you gonna stay, dumbass? And he immediately goes, I already talked out with Adrian. He's cool. And they're like, his dad's gonna kill you. And he's like, yeah, he can try. But I ain't keeping away from you. So by the end of it, big kiss. She leaves, and Randy is already, like, planning to get the next flight to Paris. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much my Ladybug, Randy Cunningham story. It's a bit long. I thought I'd just throw everything in the kitchen sink into this, because why the flying fuck not, right? Randy Cunningham has made a huge resurgence, and I figured now's the right time to throw out my, crossover shit, because damn it, if Jack Frost and Elsa can be apparently the greatest crossover ship ever, I could throw my hat in the ring, damn it! I can totally throw my hat in the ring, too. So, you guys tell me in the comments below. What did you guys think of this story? Did you guys like it, hate it? Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you haven't already, hit the link below. Head on over to my Patreon, where if you hit the 4th tier, you can send me requests for videos to do here on YouTube. And also if you hit the other tiers, you can see the exclusive content over on YouTube as well. But other than that, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, and I'll see you next time in the multiverse.